Welcome to the MenoLounge. I'm Julie Gordon-White, CEO of MenoWell. I'm totally out of breath. MenoWell, Menopause, energy bars, and supplements, all for menopause. Hi, BJ. How are you? So glad you're here. I just ran up from my office downstairs. We're having BOGO, by the way. Hi, Laura. Buy 2 blueberry, get 1 free, or just buy 1 and get 1 free. But if you're gonna buy 1, buy 2 and then put them in the freezer, because this is gonna be the last BOGO sale of blueberry for quite a while. Insider tip. So anyway, I'm totally out of breath. Super glad to see you. Today, we're gonna have Dr. LaReesa on, our favorite, because we're talking about a smarter supplement strategy. You know that we've added our metabolic supplements. Women are really loving them, trying them, and have questions. So I thought we need to have Dr. LaReesa on and talk about not just ours, but just in general, a supplement stack that makes sense. It's just tricky because there's so many supplements out there for women in menopause. So, you know, we're here for you all the time. I don't see Dr. LaReesa here yet. Always fun when we've got our docs on. So let me just double check. If you have questions, please put them right here in the chat. And of course, we will get to them. Hi, everybody. Are you ready for summer? I think it's officially Friday, but it feels like it's already summer here. Although here in the Bay Area, I have a sweater on today because it's cold. We don't get our sun until the afternoon. Let's see. All right, Dr. LaReesa, where are you hanging out? Here we go. I'm going to try again. Always fun. So if you're just joining, by the way, we have a blueberry, what are we calling it? Bonkers for blueberry BOGO sale. So buy 1, get 1 too, or buy 2, get 4. You can actually buy up to 10 boxes, but that's kind of a lot of fiber. I mean, that's a lot of fiber. So, hey, do you give them to your friends or freeze them? They are fantastic. All right. Well, I'm not sure where Dr. LaReesa is. While she's coming on, I'm going to scoot over here. Don't look at any weird things back there. This is what my stack is. So the reason I built the Take Your Body Back stack is because I needed to take my body back. You know, I turned 61 this year, started to feel different, not the way I was feeling kind of in my 50s. I am on hormone therapy, so I do the estradiol patch and progesterone, the lowest level, but I don't know, I just started to not feel like myself again. So anyway, that's why I take berberine. I take 1 every day. I also take a diuretic for pre-hypertension, so I have to make sure my blood pressure doesn't go too low. So that's why I take berberine in the morning, because I take my hypertensive diuretic at night. So berberine, it helps with your cravings. I don't know about you lately. I have different cravings, sometimes sweets, but lately I have been so all over sourdough bread. What the heck? I have no idea. But so this has been really terrific. This a game changer for me. Mood. Hey, Dr. LaReesa, I see you. I'm just sharing my stack, and then I'm going to bring you on. Saffron, totally different. We also have ashwagandha. I find that with ashwagandha, I have really vivid dreams, and sometimes more vivid than I prefer. So I really love mood, because let's be real, I can share with you guys, growing a business can be super stressful. Love it, love it, love it. It really helps. And then, hello, buddy, rest, magnesium glycinate at night. That is just a game changer. Put those 3 things together. And I also take a multivitamin. I love Dr. Marie Claire's multivitamin every single day. And of course, D3K2 Omega. So anyway, that's it. That's my stack. And so I would only offer to you what I am doing and what's working for me. And of course, with the blessing of Dr. LaReesa, who is here. So I'm bringing her up right now. We're going to talk about a smart. She comes. While we're waiting, get your BOGO blueberry. It's so good. Put it on Greek yogurt. Delishy. Delishy, delishy. All right, Dr. LaReesa. You coming? There we go. I'm going to get hot and end up taking the sweater off, I can tell. Hi, everybody. She says, do it again. Okay, doing it again. Did you get it? Invite. This must be a powerful conversation. Technology is going crazy already. Hello? Uh-oh. What do you think, Dr. Lisa? Hi, everybody. Put your questions in for Dr. LaReesa about your supplement stack, what you're currently taking, what you're confused about, what you need more information on while we get her on, because we are having some technicals here. Let's see. All right. How about now, LaReesa? Did you catch that? It says you're unable to join for some reason. Keep trying. We don't believe. Hi, Suzanne. You know, all these names, I love them. Who do we have here? Suzanne, H. Hangalova, is that right? J. Plaster, S. Berger, P.M. Flynn, McTeacher. Is that right? I think, oh, MCR Teacher. I like McTeacher, but not really like McDonald's. Okay. Hi, Jody. Hi, Billy. AEL Moore, Laura O'Perry, and BJ Shaw. All right. Okay, Dr. LaReesa. I don't know. This is all the fun part. So here's some of the questions we're going to go over because, of course, we're always prepared here. And you can be thinking about that. Okay, that's great. She's going to hop out and hop back in. So we're going to be talking about why you are taking the supplements you're taking. And then why do you want to take a different type of supplement? Let's see. Here we go. She's coming back. I feel like it's going to work this time. There you go. I'm doing my supplement song and dance.
Oh, great.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, where's your music? Hey, everybody.
I was singing it. That's why everyone's hopping off, because it was not good. Oh, shoot. Now my camera's all goofed up. Okay. Ah! Whoa. It's going to be that day.
Need a double dosing of your stuff.
I know. Too much berberine at one time.
And you can hear me all right, correct?
Yeah, we've got audio.
Yeah, okay, great.
Laura, when you make your clip, don't include that part, okay?
Okay. I was looking for my little earbuds and I couldn't find those. So, but still, every time I tried to join, it would just like, no, not today. And I was like, what? But we're here. All happens for a reason. We're here. Mm-hmm.
We're here. Beautiful. Well, I have my glasses on today so I can look a little bit smarter as we're talking about supplements. No, just kidding.
Cute.
More like allergies. But okay, so we set up some questions that you and I have talked about that we know that women are asking, and we want to help women really feel comfortable, because we know that right about now, and please validate this if you agree, about only 5% of women are selecting hormone therapy as a way to deal with all the things happening in their bodies. And so they're really turning to supplements to try to help supplement their choices and feeling better. So that's what we're going to talk about and why we think it's so important. It had a big part of why we decided to add our metabolic stack of supplements that are, let me see, now that I move my camera 10 times. So let's just start at the beginning, Dr. LaReesa. As we talked about, you've got questions, key questions for women around supplements. And the first one you shared was, why am I taking this? Why? Mm-hmm. So tell us about that question and why you thought it was important.
I love it when patients say, well, I heard, or my friend is taking this, or a family member or something, right? And honestly, outside of, a targeted ad or something else, I really do feel if you have someone you know, like, and trust, whom is your buddy, you're more willing to try something. And so that's that question. So why did you choose it? And then I get more into, well, maybe I've been feeling this way, whether it's fatigue, not sleeping well, lack of energy, sexual dysfunction, or just however
all the
it
above
led to it. Or a common one outside of that is, I'm just strolling down my retail commercer. So whether it's Walmart, Target, all the above, or I bought something off of Amazon, so it's a lot of places where people can get supplements, or they may be a part of big branches of supplement companies where they're known to offer more organic offerings or natural sources. So the why is the big one. And then I want to go back to also with just the definition of a supplement. It should supplement.
Oh, great. I love that. Right.
Your strategy, yes. Right?
It's not the whole thing.
It's not the whole thing. So it's not a magic bullet. It should complement or supplement good nutrition, good lifestyle, and ultimately that why. So remember, it's a supplement.
It's a supplement. It's not a pharmaceutical. And I think an important add to that is that when we take a supplement, it's not like if you have a headache and you take acetaminophen, Tylenol, whatever, and then your headache goes away in 20 minutes. It's not that. It is adding to our body's biochemistry, and over time, that's when we feel the benefits. Because it's a supplement, right? It's not a drug.
Yes, and I'm very much consider myself an integrative approach, where there may be inputs that are necessary from a prescribed regimen, which most of hormone therapy and other things, and then how does this complement the environment that I live in, which depending on stress, depending on like our environment altogether, we're living in most toxic times, and our body has to deal with these downloads, what I call demands every day, which is important. And a joke I always tell people or my patients is like, if I'm having a heart attack, I don't want you to sprinkle turmeric on me. I don't want you to sprinkle anything after
funny, not funny.
But
it's, let me get some cinnamon to put on it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, there have been missed opportunities of CPR, of life-saving measures that are very science-backed over so-called natural. So I want to make sure we understand the context of this conversation as well. So that's very important. So the why are you taking it is one of the things. So what is the goal you're trying to achieve? What is the health concern? Because that becomes, part of my my Thrive Beyond method, or my pyramid, is the foundational thing. So is this supporting, shifting my mindset, helping with brain support, cognitive support? Is it helping with my nutrition support? Is it helping with my fitness goals or my sleep? So that's really part of that good foundation. When you're thinking about adding supplements, or what I call molecules, medications, into your stack. So I like what we call in a stack. Think of it as your sandwich. So you're building up, like you go to Subway and you're calling your pickles and your onions and all that type of stuff. So you got to understand how you're stacking. So
yeah, which brings us to a really good point, and I guess we'll come to it, but I don't know, I'm going to talk about it now and we'll come back around, is that when we're stacking, you know me, you have to go with it. The interaction of all these things. We're not even talking about what we've chosen, right, as part of a stack. But when you're stacking things, sometimes pickles do not go with jalapenos or whatever, And so that interaction between the things we choose is really important to understand.
Absolutely, absolutely. So understanding right dosages, right timing. I've caught a lot of things just based on, I love people who bring in their supplements, because one, I'm learning stuff I didn't know exists. And I simply put, I'm not on that algorithm. I didn't even know this existed, right? And so the supplement, there's a lot of stuff out there. So you're looking for quality, you're looking for understanding, why you put this in your stack and how it is possibly interfering with some other medications or things that you're doing, because you could be over supplementing or under supplementing, depending what the why and what is the root cause you're going after, and what are you aligning with your therapy. So right dosage, right molecule or supplement that you're looking for, and timing. I've caught a lot of things based on timing, like, oh, okay, I didn't stop that because it caused me nausea. Or that didn't work for me because I had a reaction to that when I had a meal, or headaches. So it could have been the timing of another prescribed medication or something overlapping because it's working on similar pathways, because most of our drugs or medications are going to be absorbed in our gut, thus the side effect of nausea, gut distress, etc. And we're talking about the oral kind. And then the other component might be a reaction of the skin. So something that's more what we call systemic. It flows, more than one place. Or it may be something where once it's metabolized, which oftentimes is in the liver or the urine, because we have to excrete whatever or let go of whatever is not used, then that might also be at the same timing of target of something else that you're taking. So oftentimes just adjusting dose, understanding, the timing of when you're taking it, whether you're taking it with food or on an empty stomach, whether you took it after working out, that's a huge one I'm catching now. So all of that may work into your stack.
Yeah, so important. And I think that's a really underestimated part of optimizing supplements that we take. And I told you it was going to be that day. I just dropped some blueberry lemon. That must be a reminder. BOGO for blueberry lemon. Oh my God, this got to be the worst.
You have your glasses on though. Okay.
I obviously have.
You left yourself open for that one. Sorry.
This is going to be like a blooper one. I don't know. Okay, so
we have fun.
There we go. Bring it back. Okay, timing though, because I know that when I was taking ashwagandha a little too late in the afternoon, the dreams I was having were a little more vivid than I was interested in.
Your husband wasn't in them. Okay. Okay.
That could be a bonus.
Yeah.
However, so I find that saffron is better for me, or taking ashwagandha earlier in the day. And so timing really matters. Yeah.
And when we're talking about, this is an adaptogen, so this ashwagandha, so we're talking about it in a way of, I use it a lot, and especially for those stress demands. And when we say stress demands, this is when we've been constantly in a type of overdrive. We feel more on edge. Our body needs help with gaining that resilience of getting back to what we call homeostasis, getting back to home, getting back to something and a more calm resolve. But it also, because of that, it can help boost energy. So sometimes you can dose it in the morning and not have that effect because it's countering with some of the stress response. And then toward the nighttime, it can also help with the calming effects. So it could be a beautiful complement to, I know you love progesterone and magnesium, but for someone when they're getting that deep cycle of sleep already, they're already reaching that relaxing stage, that addition may get you in a different stage of sleep where you're getting more of those vivid dreams. So you may get a better opportunity to use smaller doses in the beginning of the day versus at bedtime.
Yeah, this is what I actually love about the science of supplements, is that, their food, or most of them, are plant-based. And so you can move them around, try them, and see how they work in your life. So timing, and then that leads to dosing, right? So they all come with a specific dose, every type of supplement. But although I did see this episode, I don't think you're watching this. No doctor I know is watching The Pit, which is a fantastic show.
Oh my God. Yes, I do. However, I need to catch up. I'm one of those people that it'll be like a whole season, a whole year. And that's how I was with Game of Thrones. I think I didn't watch Game of Thrones. It was like 3 years into it. So when I
then you just watched it all in one weekend, locked the kids up in the room. Okay, you two play together.
So
But I
yeah,
said that because there was an episode of
fine.
this woman who came into the ER and she was really, really sick and her skin was kind of yellow.
Uh-huh.
And it took one of the millennial residents to figure out that she said, you know, what supplements are you taking? And she said, turmeric. How much? And oh, well, I take 7 times the recommended dose on the bottle because if one dose is good, 7's got to be fantastic, right? No, no, no. So we have timing and then we have
I
dose,
gotta see that
and
episode.
more is not necessarily better in this situation.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree, because even when it comes to certain dosages, it has to also, we're looking at what we call bioavailability, meaning how much is actually absorbed based on the type of product or supplement that you're using. So there's certain ingredients that may help better absorption of a supplement depending on what it may be combined with. Or you may see some things in a formulation. I'll just give an example, liposomal, which just means they'll cross the cell or get into the cell easier. But some people might have a reaction to some of those, or too quick a reaction, and as opposed to like better the delayed gastro, meaning how your stomach may slowly dissolve it, it works over time type effect. So, but turmeric, and which is interesting because it has that color to it, kind of a tanning like color.
Right,
So,
and she was really, she's
I'm
feeling
turning
a little
orange.
orange today actually, but she was kind of like this. But she was a white woman, so she shouldn't have been this orange.
It was like a Oompa Loompa. Yeah.
Right. So no, don't take turmeric to tan either. No.
Yeah. But it's a good anti-inflammatory to consider for sure in a stack where you may have a history of an autoimmune dysfunction, where you always have this small amount of inflammation in your system. Thus, it affects your weight, your energy, your overall like feeling like yourself. That's a big thing that I will get. Like, I just don't feel like myself. You know,
Right.
I just feel like things
The umbrella
off.
term. Yes.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay. How did I get us all over the place today? Let's go back to the root cause. Tell us about that. That was one of the top questions that you asked when you were speaking about supplements.
Yeah, so it goes back, one, you're looking at the why, you string it along with, you know, what are some of the root causes of what you're considering. So let me just feed into examples. So someone with autoimmune thyroid, so you may be on a medication to help out with your thyroid, which is a gland here. It's a conductor of a lot of hormone rhythms. I mean, literally, if you have a high thyroid dysfunction, you want to take care of that before adding your estrogen, your progesterone, your HRT stack, particularly because it's one that really does impact from skin, heart, temperature regulation, weight, and energy. So it does have a lot to do with it. So I'm mentioning that as an example because the thyroid has, if you have one left, and this is someone that still has one just underacting, it loves to utilize great minerals, you know, so we're talking about magnesium, selenium, iodine, and then sometimes you have to be careful with it, but getting a multivitamin that actually gives you, you know, a little bit more support in those areas could be very beneficial to aligning and supplementing with main therapy, you know. So that's an example. For menopause care, depending on how you digest and how your metabolism is, sometimes women may notice that, God, I'm picking up weight once I started HRT, or I feel more bloated. And some of that could be geared to, you know what, HRT doesn't necessarily fix a gut. You know, so we may need to support your gut health, or making sure that, like Barb loves talking about the microbiome, who's the nutritionist on
Barb, right? Barb, microbiome, Sobel, yes.
Yeah, so sorry, Barbara Sobel. And so because such of the nutrition component has to do with at a gut level of what is actually being absorbed in those areas where you could be taking a medication that's destroying that lining. And so that may be an additional support to assist with, okay, the root cause of why I'm potentially taking this probiotic, or assisting with even considering an apple cider vinegar capsule or something called bromelain. You know, like these are things that, okay, I'm supporting my gut because I'm getting a little GI distress, but I need to be on this medication because it's helping to sustain my life, you know? So understanding the root cause is more of a medication side effect, or because my thyroid really loves these nutrients and minerals to help support it, whatever's left of it, or, you know, its function. And I may not be getting all the gains just from my medication. And so just like with HRT and certain things, when people get bloated, it could be just how the medication is running through their body, and sometimes they may need to be on something to kind of help those pathways. We have certain pathways of our hormones, and some of those key things are, you know, making sure you have the right B vitamins, make sure you're on magnesium, make sure that you have vitamin D and the type of vitamin D, or just making sure your body's detox pathways. Like these are people that I might definitely make sure that I'm amplifying their gut, as well as amplifying how their liver lets go of things, because it may be competing with another medication, or just depending on their metabolism, they're not letting go of some of the byproducts once you use it. Just like when you eat, like you're digesting. Some of it is staying and other parts are coming out of your rear end, right? So so you have to, yeah, hopefully, yeah. So and constipation, if you have a history of constipation, just understand one way that you can evaluate how well the baseline of how your body gets rid of stuff is, are you peeing it out? Are you pooping it out? Are you breathing it out? Are you sweating it out? You know, all of those things, you know, go into it, optimizing and understanding the why, the root cause of why I may be taking this.
Really huge. And just a reminder, we did a great MenoLounge, I will say so myself, on thyroid. So if you have thyroid issue or concerns, search that on our video page, and you can watch it, or on YouTube. A lot easier probably to search it on YouTube. But what you said just reminded me about one of the easiest, most available supplements we have, which is water. Water. Drink a lot of water. Okay, everybody take a sip. Is that what we're doing?
Okay. I'm staying on top of it. Staying on top of it.
That's right. Water, 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 because that keeps everything moving through our body. Not always, but enough, right, to help rid of things that might be in excess. Would you agree with that?
Yes. And I think the biggest thing that someone can do, part of their stack, is to wake up and hydrate your body with a nice, because your cells are wanting it. Just understand, like, we're a living organism. If you go to your child's or somebody's textbook in science, that's what a cell is. We're in a person, you know, we're billions of cells put together, and some of the hallmark of just getting your cells to do what we wanted to do is hydrating them. Right. So for those who may not drink a lot of water, it's still the biochemistry of it. And so actually there's supplement lines that are helping out with that, you know, helping people hydrate better through their system when they're just not natural water drinkers.
Yes, but practice. That's what I say. I never used to drink water the minute, you know, I woke up, before coffee, I would say, which coffee or tea, most of us are having that hot beverage, looking forward to it in the morning, and immediately it's a diuretic. It's, you know, that caffeine. And so that's not good. So we need to hydrate. We're already wake up dehydrated. So we need to hydrate before we dehydrate ourselves with caffeine right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And at first it was uncomfortable. I didn't really want to drink water when I got up, but now I cannot. While my coffee's brewing, I'm there just drinking my water. You know, they just go together. Habit stacking, supplement stacks, habit stacks, right?
And most importantly, it goes to the next question. It's what's working for you, right?
What is working? Yes.
You were.
How do you know?
Yeah, exactly. The immediate feedback is quality of life. So if you're noticing over time, like I feel like that boost. I don't feel as dehydrated. I don't feel as fatigued. And as you mentioned before, you most likely need to be on a supplement for at least 6 to 8 weeks to really get some good benefits of what it says it's going to do, and get your body adjusted to it before necessarily abandoning. And then once again, the understanding the why, because I'll just put, for instance, if you're taking a, so-called magic bullet for your hair, but the root cause is hair has three distinct stages of growth, and it goes in a cycle. So if you thought you were going to have a bush after 3 months of taking a supplement for hair loss, then you have the wrong intentions.
You might start at the wrong cycle,
expectations,
right?
Exactly.
You might start in the dormant cycle or the shedding cycle, and then you think versus, or you might start in the growing cycle. You're like, woo, this is magic, right? So
yeah, and you need to be able to see those things over 6 months to a year almost, so it's not instantaneous. And then, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation that we can have. I mean, another MenoLounge about, people that are experiencing certain things to expect, because I know that is a pain point for many women and men, with hair loss. So yeah,
that is, hair loss is a big one. But going back to that immediate feeling, that is one of the things that I actually really enjoy about magnesium glycinate, because I know that baby's working like boom, like that. And I'm going to let you validate this, invalidate it. I know you're going to validate it. But when we get our sleep right, a lot of things fall into place. And so it's really important. And we know, and I'll let you talk more about magnesium and glycinate and all the things that go with it to help digest it. But also that sleep, it just optimizes everything else. So if we're having cravings, if, weight gain, fatigue, all of these things, if we can lock in our sleep, then anything else that we stack on top of it is going to be optimized. So while I love my progesterone, not always enough. So
yeah, great point. Magnesium is a common deficiency. It's along with over 300 possible different functions of the body, or from energy to muscle to helping the nervous system. So it is one that commonly added to the stack. People will see immediate benefits depending on good sourcing and good quality. And it's one, like the glycinate, one of the reasons why it's so popular is just how the bioavailability, and how it's absorbed. And it's, tends to be a good version of the primary nutrient of magnesium. So often used to support sleep and that relaxation in the nervous system at bedtime, but it's very key in a lot of hormone optimization protocols and protocols that I use, when we're talking about just overall adding to the mix and actually supplementing and engaging in and aligning with primary hormone therapy. And sleep, I may not call it that magic bullet, but it some ways is, but since I try to get away from that term, it is a magical domino. So I do agree. You hit that down, you get a lot of momentum in other areas when it comes to health and wellness and feeling better. So sleep is sexy. That's something I stick by completely. And putting magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate, which you have on the stack with MenoWell, I think was a great add, because one, I mentioned this, how you source it, how vet, and Julie's vetting, that's one thing. She's going to go through some rabbit holes and vet for you.
Otherwise it's got to be trusted.
Got to be trusted.
If I'm going to take it, it better be trusted.
Absolutely. So tested and manufactured, and you want a good quality. And so a lot of people may use it prophylactically for migraines, and just mentioning dosages right off the bat, even though it's a different Hello.
Hi,
Even though
Tracy
it's
Renee.
not necessarily glycinate, I mean, in the OB world, we use magnesium a lot for hypertensive disorders. So that additional cardiovascular effect and helping out with your vascular system is still a benefit as well. So usually you cannot go wrong with adding this to the stack. So in glycinate and is a really good formulation of it, very common in the use in the longevity space as, you know, one of those go-to stacks when it comes to magnesium. And the amount of elemental, what we call elemental magnesium, you're actually getting delivered and absorbed. So is definitely a good one to have in your stack.
Really good. And it does, I love that you use the word momentum because it feels like you get an instant response. And let's just be real, we like an instant response. It just makes us feel like we're doing something, and we actually are. We actually are. So
the way it crosses the cells, I will say that that's one that a lot of times people don't have to be on it as long to see the immediate effects, unless, you know, I will say those who might have a really high stress response, those who, you know, don't, are just getting into a good sleep routine, they're getting into that sleep hygiene mix, may notice, you know, right off the bat it's not doing as much, but at least trust the process, you know, and understand that once again, it's not going to be this one pill is, you know, adding those additional things, but it can definitely support it. It can support areas of cycles of sleep and sleep stages. And a lot of times people will notice the benefit. And the formulation of a capsule is one of the most commonly used and works well and digestive.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, you said it wasn't a magic pill, but you did say it was a domino, so I like it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And who
part of the stack.
Domino. I mean, you should get a visual right there, like,
right. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, I know we're getting a little over here, but creatine, because we are getting a lot of orders for creatine. And I love that women are coming around to creatine because everyone was afraid of it. You know, is it for men, bodybuilders? Hell, we're all building our bodies, ladies. So just own that phrase. I love it. We won't get big and bulky. It's way too hard. You have to eat too much, and we don't want to eat too much. But it does in many women, you know, the whole purpose of it is it retains water in our muscles. So it might add a half a pound to the scale, which is water in our muscles. So we look pumped and good. But women get nervous about it. But it has so many incredible benefits. And I want to, can you talk about them? Because I'm excited that women are joining the fun. So we have this cute little purple label, which who doesn't like that?
Look at you.
I know.
So I mean, and we're talking about performance, and improving performance. And when you're improving performance in your exercise and in your bodybuilding and in your aerobic activity, just understand there's a part that is breaking down that has to build up. So there's essential amino acids. There's areas where creatinine is helping to build back what you're remodeling in a way, you know. So it goes into the performance, and performance goes into recovery. So
which is huge for us in midlife, because it takes longer to recover. That is science. So don't feel bad if you do a workout and then you don't feel like doing another one for 3 days or even a week sometimes. But recovery is real. So anything we can add that supports recovery is super important.
Yes, absolutely. And creatine, commonly it comes in monohydrate, and so you're getting about 5 grams of that. Most of the time it's in a powder. I've been using it for a while, but I think you get better benefits over time when you are using it when you're in an exercise routine. So those who are just taking it just to take it may not see some of the benefits that other people may be noticing because their muscle is not utilizing it as regularly. So, but it's definitely one that I would consider should be part of a stack if you're part of any type of exercise, movement, fitness routine because of how it's going to improve how you utilize your energy and improve your stamina and performance for these fitness activities. So I think it's one that becomes kind of like that foundational stack, you know, so not something that you're adding to be a, you know, like, hey, I'm trying to be the Olympian or what have you, and that's all I need is creatine. Like, no, that should be pretty much your foundational stack. And then some other things will take you to the bodybuilding contest, you know, whatever. But it's definitely one that you should consider, highly consider, and it's usually well tolerated. It really
Well
is.
studied, well tolerated.
Well
Tastes like
tolerated, well
nothing.
studied.
I can just put it in water because you shake it up enough, it's gone, you know, so, but you can put it in anything.
And
Although
it really
there's
has no taste either.
no,
I
it
mean, like,
doesn't.
unless it comes flavored with something else, yeah. So it really is, just think of it how it's adding to the energy groups in our body that's going to help with performance and optimize those areas that we're already working on. So it's a foundational stack for me.
And there are studies about added dosage, so that between 6 to 10 grams. We're talking about creatine.
Creatine
Said,
which don't get it mixed up with creatinine. That's a different thing with the kidneys.
Yes,
like to measure the creatinine. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But supporting some cognitive benefits as well, and the higher dose, but not, if you're not working out, then I wouldn't recommend that higher dose, because I don't think you're going to feel great because the amount of water you're going to hold. But great studies around that too. So
yeah, and absolutely. So we're talking about performance, cognitive performance, strength and exercise performance. But once again, I want to go back to where we started. What is the why? What are you trying to produce? Because that's important when, and just talking about the stacks that are available now, even through MenoWell or just in your consideration. So if this is part of your baseline to assist, then, but you're not sleeping well, like it makes sense to you adding the magnesium, adding, those things that help with blood glucose support, like berberine, which is on the line of supplements. But I just really want you to tie it into why you would consider it. It's the same conversation I have with hormone therapy. You got to understand the why, what are some of the benefits and what are some of the takeaways from it, so you can make an informed decision. That's part of, what I consider the integrative model as well. Make an informed decision as you go through your decision guide. And so if you started off with my friend and my mama told me type supplement conversation, then you can end up with something that, hey, I'm investing in my health, and this is how, and this is the why. So that's important because you understand what you're following.
Right. Really important. Before we wrap, you mentioned berberine, and it feels like it's newer on the scene, but it isn't. It's been around for a super long time, helps manage blood sugar cravings. We don't say weight management, but weight management, because cravings and blood sugar and all those things go together. What are your thoughts that you might want to share today about berberine?
Okay, sorry, I think I heard you. I was trying to make sure I heard it correctly. It was coming in and out. Okay. Berberine comes from like tree bark areas, so it's a plant derived, and it's often used for blood sugar support. I've used it a lot and for years for women who have had irregular cycles due to endocrine disruptions, like what's formerly called PCOS or polyendocrine system or metabolic disorder. So someone who has had some kind of defect of how they process their insulin, which is a major hormone that is not only telling your body how to utilize blood sugar for energy, but also telling your body how to build muscle or break it down for energy as well. So it makes a big difference of, having something in addition that people can tolerate, somebody that, feels that they needed to supplement with their nutritional base. And it can be really good with, in addition to a stack. And so even I usually recommend take it with a meal. and it can still be well tolerated than some of the other medications out there that are more geared toward diabetics. Berberine might be something I'm added on to someone who has some kind of nature, what we call insulin resistance, meaning their body does not recognize the activity that insulin, the hormone, is trying to do in their body. So they may maintain higher blood sugars that impact your vessels, impact your skin, impact, pretty much every part of your body, from, lipids and cholesterol, how that's broken down. And that can add to weight gain, that can add to more minnow belly, that can add to just not feeling like yourself, and becomes a major issue. And to me, if someone has used, said you're pre-diabetic, or the medical term I use is insulin resistance, and then you're just following up in a year, you've missed the biggest gap in the opportunity in your life to get your health on track. Because what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the diabetic diagnosis?
Right.
So,
right.
And this is a key time for, just because your numbers don't match the diabetic diagnosis, you can help your body out and start reversing that train and backtrack a little bit. And that can help support you in a safe and effective way.
I love that. And women want to take it for weight management.
Mm-hmm.
Does that fall in the line basically because we're helping manage insulin with berberine? Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. Because we're speaking in terms of, weight management and maintaining goals. And to understand weight means you understand the effects of insulin. Once again, it's how you're managing your blood sugar. It's also how your fat cells decide what they're going to do, whether they're going to build or break down.
Are they going to store, hang out here in the belly when we don't want them anyway? Or like, hit the road, Jack,
Exactly. So if you help that function of insulin a little better, then you may get more breakdown of that fat, which also helps with weight management. So it's definitely a tool that you can add in your stack. I think a question I'll go ahead and put out there for that might be, because GLP-1s are very popular now, and
right.
whether to use it in addition is something that you could use in addition, but you want to make sure you're aligned with, what is the dosage you're right now on GLP-1s? What is that why behind some of the plateau that you're considering? Or because you don't want to potentially add effects, but it definitely is something that I've used alongside in the right person. And I've been able to get, beyond, because it's not that expensive. It's something that could be well tolerated, and it could be used and aligned with it. Because one thing about the GLP-1s, they're smart. So they know how much they're supposed to do in a cell and how much they don't need to do in the cell. So that's the beauty of, this industry of peptides. So, or GLP-1s are considered a peptide. So,
what, that just occurred to me recently when somebody mentioned it, like a GLP-1, and I said, I'm learning more about peptides. He goes, well, yeah, it's a peptide. Oh yeah, that's what the P. Duh. So.
No, it's just, it can be confusing because the marketing, it makes, anyway.
All the words. So, yeah, that's great, because we get, had a lot of questions. Can I take berberine with a GLP-1? And that's why you and I just double checked with you. Yes, but let me just double check with Dr. LaReesa. But this is the perfect time to say, ask your own healthcare provider. We're all different. And so this is meant for information purposes, not to treat or diagnose disease. And everyone is different. And so you need to know your own body, just like anything medical or perimenopause or life. Know yourself. Know yourself.
And let me just make sure I touch on this, because this is really important. If you are chat GPTing and chat G'ing your whole life right now,
don't talk about me right now.
No.
Actually, I prefer Claude.
I use it all. I use it all, but I'm a Star Wars fan. And I say that because if anybody who's a Star Wars fan, And if you're with the good and not the evil, I loved also the humanity in robots and the intelligence that they bring. You know, I loved and fell in love with the characters of Luke Skywalker and all them always having an R2D2 and a droid, you know? So I'm someone that captures there's a need for both, and I think they can live, you know, in alignment if, you know, you still understand God made something very unique in a human, you know? But that's the thing. If you do not, or you're not comfortable with your human acumen to decipher and discern and understand when it comes to medications, supplements, and things like that, then you do want to tailor it into some expertise. And I'm only mentioning that because there are people who are not having any physician oversight, just going by, you know, what they pick up on social media and ever. So we're in a very advanced knowledge age. So I have no qualms. Most of my patients are coming in already starting to research that. Right. I feel like it's my job to help guide them to, you know, what makes sense for them and what's not. So that's why I just want you to put a discerning eye when you're, you know, those out there who are building their medications and their supplements only through AI. It's a good start. It helps arm you with the right questions. It helps arm you with some good information. It's arm you, you know, but you definitely need to have some guidance and tailor as well for your specific medical situation, because I have found some areas that have been a little concerning. But other than that, it's a great place to potentially start for sure.
I think so. I'm really glad you brought that up because, you know, we have a lot of smart, savvy women that are a part of our community. Yeah. And why not use all the latest technology tools that are out there? But that doesn't mean they shouldn't be validated by an actual real professional.
Yeah.
Do both. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's, like I said, it's a lot of good information out there. It's just a discerning eye is important. And just understand these are codes, these are models. That's what they call it, large language models. So they're feeding in from different sources, and then they're rebuilding what that next code looks like. So anyway, I've been in the AI world, can you tell? So
yes, I'm so glad, because we talk about it in our company. You know, we share a lot of information, and I think it's a brilliant tool for midlife women. I'm going to do a MenoLounge on AI for midlife women, because we have the perfect combination. Here I can sound getting started here. The perfect combination of years of experience combined with technology. Now we're winning. When we use technology with no point of reference, not so good. But we are the superpower, so we're going to talk more about that.
Absolutely. I feel like anybody who knows and understands analog, you have the best opportunity to see, you know, like
AKA old school. Yeah.
Old school. I don't know. There's a lot of seasoned chickens out there, and I get it. But I'm telling you, that's the best way to be these days. Like knowing, like, if something goes wrong, you have an idea of what you can do. If the first thing you're grabbing is like, I got to look this up on Google, and you don't know, like, a good pinch hitter type thing all the time. Right. I'm telling you. So that's, I mean, I feel like you're right. The embodiment of midlife women, and you lived in an analog era.
We got it. This is our time, because any energy that we lost that we're trying to get back with all our supplements, and we put the AI on top of it and our wisdom, bam, there you go.
Bam. Yeah, right. You know, and the edge of stars, it's like, hey, it's the force be with you.
The force is with us, LaReesa. That's the whole point. Okay, I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to remind everybody before I knock over my camera one more time. Buy one, get one free. We're bonkers over blueberries, so go get your blueberry bars, put them on yogurt, keep them in your bag. They don't have chocolate, so they don't melt all over the place in the summertime. Enjoy. So thank you, Dr. LaReesa.
I want to put a tag in next Wednesday, the 24th. I'll be hosting, and I need to send you this information as well. I'm hosting another one of my Thrive Table Talks, and we're going to be going beyond hormones and seeing how the peptide conversation wraps around metabolism, energy, and weight management. So just it's kind of like a 101, foundational, understanding the functional, and really how does that apply, because it's the time to bring it in. So next Wednesday night at 7:30, follow me at Dr. LaReesa, and it will be posted soon.
So get over there and follow Dr. LaReesa if you're not already, and make sure you go, because then you just get to dive deeper into all the things that we're talking about here.
So. All the goodness. All right.
Okay, thank you as always. All right, and should I say now that you are almost you're on ramp to 50?
Oh, yes, you can. I turn 50 next month, and I am really excited. I'm actually even more excited about the +1, because to me, I feel like 50 kind of straddles. But next year I'm really going to celebrate more, because I'm technically a midlife, right? So
technically you are. Don't try to rush another year. Just enjoy the one you have.
Oh, believe me, I am. I'm going to see Chris Brown and Usher. I'm going to Bruno.
Oh my God, jealous.
So
jealous. Yeah. Bruno Mars. Okay, everybody, have a super day. Don't be too hot wherever you are, or too cold if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area, or too humid if you're in Florida. All the things. Okay.
All right, all the things.
Good to see
you. Bye.
Take care. Okay, bye.